it's Omicron. Falcon hates puns and thinks that they're all wrong. One's American and one is an Aussie. Talking about StarCraft 2 and the esports scene.
Hello. Happy podcast.
Happy podcast to you too.
Ooh, a lot of stuff to talk about today on my end.
All right, get going.
All right. So, I'm going to complain about YouTube a little bit here to start off. I know everybody likes to hear me rant about stuff like that.
Uh-huh, of course. Yep.
Or, maybe not, but sometimes I just need to vent. All right. So, yesterday, which was Sunday, I was doing my live stream on YouTube, as you do. And I went to check my comments on something, and suddenly it was like, hey, you have 40 comments that we've automatically held for you because they're probably dangerous. And I was like, whoa, did I get spam attacked or something? So I go and I click on the tab and it's like, hey, here's all these comments on a video you posted 4 days ago. And these are all comments you've previously seen. They've been there for a while, but suddenly we think they don't belong on your channel. Here. And I'm like, no, these are fine. I've responded to some of these. What is... I don't understand. So I just went through and approved them because they were all fine. I don't know what they were freaking out about. And then today, randomly, in the middle of the day, hey, remember those comments that you said were fine yesterday? We think they're dangerous. We've held them for you. And we've done 10 more. Wait, what? I don't know what's happening. I don't know why YouTube is suddenly freaking out on my comments.
It's just an error. Like, in 2 days, this will go away. It'll be fine. You're not going to have to deal with YouTube flagging all the comments on a video forever. Right.
Okay. I would agree with you if it happened once. But the second time, it's a pattern now.
The second time in, the same 48-hour period, I think it's the same error.
They haven't fixed the bug yet.
No.
Should I report it? Maybe they don't know.
Yes. If you've encountered a bug and they don't know about it, they won't fix it.
Well, yeah, but I was just thinking, this might be happening to other channels that are huge and they just have thousands of comments in the held for review page anyway they don't care about. Mm-hmm. Whereas a smaller channel like me, I look at that. I'm paying attention to it all the time because I can. Right. I can keep up with it.
Right. But in your YouTube settings, do you have hold comments for review enabled at all?
Yeah, and every once in a while it flags something, and it's usually spam, and I'm like, thank you, and then I delete it. I've never had it do this before, where it's en masse acceptable comments from something that was posted on my channel 3 days ago.
Still, I don't think, the bigger YouTubers that, have enough comments that they wouldn't notice.
Yeah.
Perfectly fine comments coming, getting blocked, aren't going to report the bug, right? Because they won't notice it. They don't see all those comments. They require the little guy to report it.
Yeah, I'm kind of in that sweet spot where I get comments, but not so many that I'm just going to ignore everything on that page. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. How about this? If it happens again, I'll report it.
Okay.
I have little faith in this because of all the numbers of times I've been flagged for inappropriate content in my videos. And then every single time I dispute it and a human looks at it and they go, oh, yeah, you're right. There's nothing bad here. And I'm like, this has been so many times now. So I'm just saying, if their computer system's screwing up, I don't think they have a way to necessarily fix it when it comes to the appropriateness of comments. Right? I don't know. I'll report it. We'll see what happens. That's all we can do.
If nothing else, they could roll it back to the previous version of the algorithm. That would probably fix it.
That might fix it. Yeah. If they're like, we just pushed out an update. Thanks for reporting this weird behavior. We'll roll it back. Mm-hmm. They're not going to tell me that, but that might be something they do.
They definitely won't tell you about it, but they'll thank you and be like, okay, thanks for telling us. All right, we'll look into it. YouTube bread.
I don't think they'll even say that, honestly. I'm going to report it, and then the automatic thing will be like, thanks, and I'll never hear anything ever again.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think that's how that works with massive companies like Google. Although, I don't know, I'm big enough to where I can talk to a person if I need help with something. Maybe I'll do that. Nah. Anyway, we'll cross the bridge when we come to it. So number 2, Katowice happened.
It did.
We never actually found a time to get together and make our predictions, partially because my brother got married and it was chaos for 2 days and I didn't know how much chaos it would be because I'm stupid. It's like I've never taken part in a wedding before or something.
Yeah, that sounds like you.
Yeah.
I mean, frankly, I think you should have just recorded it from the wedding.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that would have been a perfectly acceptable thing to do at someone else's wedding.
I'm just sitting there speaking in podcast voice about StarCraft 2.
You got your little laptop, Blue Yeti mic set up in front of you. Everyone else is trying to eat dinner and listen to the speeches, but no, you're like, shh, I need to talk about Katowice.
Shut up. Leave me alone. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to simulate this because I have some thoughts on who I would have picked. And I'm sure you have some thoughts on who you would have picked. And I'm just curious. Like, this isn't going to be for anything.
Right. It can't be because
Yeah.
we know the results.
Exactly. Just making sure we're on the same page.
My first thought that I would like to throw out is when I was originally considering doing this, I did not realize that first place seeds got straight into the quarterfinals.
Right.
And so I don't actually, like, for betting, I don't like that. I'd rather all the participants be at the same place. Right?
Agreed. Yep.
Second thing is, obviously, I think both of us would have picked Cyril, which means he would have been disqualified from being chosen by our rules.
True fact. It all comes down to how much you believe in Maru again. Because I don't. I would not have picked Maru.
There's a good chance I would have picked Maru.
Yep. I was having this conversation in my head as it was happening. I was like, I'm pretty sure Samarkand would have picked Maru and then been stoked when he made it to the semifinal. When he 3-1'd SOS and broke the curse, right?
Right. Like, the moment he came out of his group first, that would have been like, Maru's back, baby.
Yeah.
I've got this in the bag. And then he gets to Rogue. And it's, 3-2. It's, it's not bad.
No, it's hugely respectable. That's massive.
Yeah.
A 3-2 against one of the scariest Zergs at a time where Zerg dominates the scene is, that's great. I honestly, Maru way exceeded my expectations for him in this thing. So, good job him.
Yeah. Good job.
Well, just especially Maru beating SOS, because he's the guy he's struggled against, right? That's the dude that's made Maru look silly over most of the tournaments in 2019 when they meet up.
Yeah. Especially, I think it was BlizzCon. Yeah.
Yeah, especially. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I have greater expectations for him in future tournaments in 2020 because of this performance, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Yeah. So, couldn't have taken Cyril. So, here's the thing about taking Rogue or Dark. It's ZVZ garbage in that quarterfinal. And the more evidence we get, the more I feel like ZVZ is not an adequate, it's not an adequate test of how good you are at StarCraft. Do we really think that Rogue is that much better than Dark that he 3-0'd him? That's a representation of, Rogue is way better at this than Dark is? No. I don't. Do you?
No.
No. I actually want to look at the BlizzCon results. So I'm pretty sure they met up. Did they not meet up in the playoff? To the internet, 2019 WCS Global Finals bracket. They didn't. Dang it. Rogue B Classic. No, actually, Rogue lost the Classic in the quarterfinals. Or he would have met up with Dark. We would have seen. Anyway. Yeah, just the fact that Raynor can beat Cyril in a ZVZ and then look outclassed by Dark an hour later. ZVZ sucks, man. So yeah, I wouldn't have felt good about choosing either Rogue or Dark there. Zest has been on a tear, especially in this tournament. He's looked really good at Katowice overall with all the many rounds of stuff we've been doing. I would have been tempted to take Zest. I would have really felt pretty good about SOS as well. Okay. But yeah, I would not have picked Rogue. I wouldn't have. I would have not felt good about it. If I would have had to choose, I would have probably taken Dark just because, again, he won BlizzCon not that long ago.
It's true.
Yeah.
He did win BlizzCon.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I wouldn't have picked Rogue, and you wouldn't have picked Rogue, so we both lose. The end.
Neither of us lose because we were unable to perform the tournament. Right?
Yes. Right.
It's not a matter of losing.
Right. Crazy result, though. like, I don't know, a Zest Rogue finals is not something I think anybody would have picked based on the groups here.
Right. Yeah. I mean, just the not ZVZ finals. I think everyone's happy.
It's true. Even though a little bit disappointing, it wasn't all that exciting other than, was it game 2 where Zest won?
Have not seen the games.
Okay. I caught a little bit of it because it was happening when I was streaming because I like to time these things well.
Of course.
But one of the games, Zest went like full has and had the Robo facility in Rogue's Natural and was doing all this stuff.
Nice.
And he won with it, but then the rest of the games, Rogue was just like, we'll just handle this in a workman-like fashion.
He just like booped his ass on the nose. Oh, that's cute. Boop.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, proxy, adorable. Oh, that was game 1. Yeah. So pros players are like, yeah, we're up 1-0 in this best of 7, looking good. And then Rogue was just like, no. All right, thanks for coming. So I don't know. I've actually, people have requested that I cast the semifinals rather than the final because those are more exciting. I don't think I'm going to disagree with that.
I mean, are you not going to cast the finals at all?
I will. Not first, probably.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you should never do them first. You should always like slowly work your way through the bracket. I feel.
As though I have some kind of a plan for any of this.
Right.
I'm usually like, I need to cast a series for Sunday. This looks good. Go.
Fair enough.
Yeah. It's but I think your method makes sense though.
It does make sense. That's why I like it. I'm looking at the map statistics for Katowice, and I just love that there were 103 PvPs.
That is so much PvP.
Out of a total of 436 games, it's nearly a quarter of all games with PvP.
That's so much Protoss. Oh, boy. Yeah. I gotta say, I'm not a huge fan of PvP. Although it's better than ZVZ, but not as good as TVT, in my opinion.
Yeah, which is unfortunate because there were only 19 TVTs.
Yeah.
There were 5 times as many PvPs than there were TVTs.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Go Protoss, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
Nah, we're not gonna do that. Man, I did catch the end of who was that? Must look real quick. I'm not gonna be able to find this. I want to say it was Cure and Hurricane.
Okay.
But it was a crazy long TVT. Both players had battle cruisers and ravens, and it was awesome. And it basically just turned into a game where the map was getting mined out, and whoever could mine the most of it and have the biggest bank when it all came down to it was probably going to win.
Okay, yep.
And that's what happened.
Fair
it
enough.
was just Cure was able to have like a 6,000 mineral, 8,000 gas bank, and Hurricane had nothing in the bank. And then they fought, and then Cure was like, another army, go! And he won. So it was a little anticlimactic. It kind of could see what was coming, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, good times. It was a pretty fun TVT, even if you kind of saw the ending coming a few minutes in advance. Sometimes that happens.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does happen. So Katowice is over. Zerg player won, but it wasn't a ZVZ final, so it's a bit of a mixed victory for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also surprised Raynor did it poorly as he did.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to have seen him go further, sure.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, at some point, I think experience trumps talent. So he had, like, a great boost. But who knows, maybe he'll just kind of, like, sit around, you know, he'll make it to the semis occasionally and stuff like that. But I would not, like, as much as I would like to see him go further, I'm not 100% sold that we'll see him like always in the grand finals of everything.
Yeah,
this year.
at that level again, right?
Yeah, especially if there's more like regionless, like not region locked events, isn't there? Like there's going to be a whole bunch of, because it's now the ESL Pro Tour. There's a whole bunch of like DreamHack and stuff. They're no longer region locked. Is that right?
I think so. That's my understanding. Could be wrong.
Yeah. So I would expect with fierce talent showing up from Korea, maybe Reino doesn't go as far.
Sure. But I mean, BlizzCon's not region locked. Like, he made it to the finals of a tournament where Koreans were absolutely participating.
Mm-hmm.
And in fairness, to get where he got, he did take down Cyril, which again, ZVZ, and for whatever reason, Raynor just kind of has Cyril's number in that matchup.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. But yeah, I mean, his ZVZ in Group B, he got 2-0'd by Rogue and 2-0'd by Sue to wrap it up. Like, he needed to win one of those series and couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
ZVZ, hard, man. It's not anyone's favorite, that's for sure. Somebody in the Discord the other day was like, I've started playing Zerg as a StarCraft 2 player.
Uh-huh.
And I started playing Zerg, and man, I have like an 80% win percentage in ZVZ. And I was like, what? How? What? What is this? I just make a bunch of roaches and I win. And I'm like, maybe it's just at a low level with his Zerg. And maybe his MMR is not high enough to where it's hard. I don't know what happened. I should ask him how it's going now. It's been a few days.
I mean, I assume those are all the right reasons that you've mentioned.
Yeah.
Right. They're just low MMR. It doesn't matter because he just happens to have slightly better macro.
Yeah, and he's not like new player playing Zerg. He's established player playing Zerg, and that's a different level of skill, even if it's a race you're not that familiar with playing.
Yes.
Yeah, just knowing the meta is probably enough to win a bunch at the lower levels, if anything.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I should ask him just so that he can go, I hate it. And then I'll laugh. Welcome to everyone else's experience in ZVZ.
Yeah, join the club.
Join the club. Is gross. Let's see. In other news, I started watching Gate.
Oh, yeah? Yep.
Yeah, I like it.
Cool.
I'm 2 episodes in.
Nice.
And so at this point, it's basically just like, it turns out modern military technology kicks the crap out of medieval level war technology. And it's not even close. So we got that figured out for you. Thanks for watching.
Not even remotely close.
No.
I just finished the second season, which I believe is the end of all of it.
Okay, great.
And I can essentially confirm the most that the medieval military can ever do is maybe hit someone with an arrow.
Right.
Right, like that's like the biggest issue that they have to worry about. It's like they have arrows.
Yes, because long range for them is like, I don't know, how far can you shoot an arrow if you're really good at it? To the Google.
300 feet.
Sure, that makes tons of sense. I'm down with that.
I'm just going
Google
off, like,
says
D&D.
a compound bow, so modern technology, can shoot an arrow over 1,000 feet.
Right, but they don't have compound bows.
Most archers stay within what is called the effective range, which is typically between 30 and 60 feet. How about longbows? So the estimates here appear to be from 100 to 200 yards, 250 maybe. So yeah, somewhere around that, right? 300 yards, which is 228 meters for everyone in the world but Americans.
Yep.
Yes. So yeah. So when your opponent has guns, that's not very far at all.
Yeah, no.
No. Especially when they bring out the tanks, I was like, oh, this is just not fair. This is like, dudes with machine guns and like rat's nests are worse. They're bad enough. But then they rolled out like just platoons of tanks. And I'm like, yeah. There's a moment in episode 2 where they're rolling out for a nighttime sneak attack, right?
Yes.
And then the flares start showing up. And then they just start dying because tank shells are dropping on them from a mile away.
Yeah, mortar shells and stuff, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, people are dying. They have no idea what's happening to them. It's bad.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. After that, there's like a recurring theme of like, maybe there'll be like a military threat that attacks somewhere. And the answer is always just, oh, right, this kind of technology exists, which is just a really, really great answer. And that does not get old to watch either.
Okay, because I was wondering, like, how much of this show is just, hey, medieval warfare sucks compared to modern technology?
No. It gets it gets varied. It turns into like this partly like a political game going on.
Yeah, and that makes a ton of sense.
Right, because like Japan's under pressure from the rest of the world to like share up this special region with everyone else.
Oh yeah, I met the American president, and he totally sucks. He's very American.
Yes. So they don't want to just like kill everyone. They want to actually like have to try and sue for peace. But the other like, the Empire or whatever it's called in the
Yeah.
special region, they somehow still think they can take the fight.
Who? What?
Yeah,
Okay.
It'll all make sense, and then like magic gets introduced and stuff, and yeah.
Well, like, I get it. This is an empire that has conquered the known world
No,
and beyond.
Not even their continent.
Have they not? Oh.
No, they
They
are
feel
surrounded.
real arrogant for not
Yeah.
having conquered their known world.
No, yeah, they just have like the largest military on the continent, and they're kind of just at like they're all the other states around them are kind of like vassal states.
Yeah, okay.
But there's totally like the surrounding states just kind of, I don't know, they're not part of the empire. There's very much a like they're separate from us mentality going on.
Yeah, but if you show up and be like, hey, we need some dudes for our army, they're like, okay, fine.
To a degree, yeah. Eventually that doesn't work. All right.
Yeah, well, because you never send anybody back is a pretty important motivation.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's a good show. I think
great.
I gave it an 8 on my anime list.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so far it's a lot of fun.
It's not perfect, or at the end, like there's a couple of things that just don't get followed up on, and I feel like it's setting up for a season 3, but given that it finished 4 years ago,
Yeah.
and we haven't got anything, I'm not I'm not hopeful.
Smart.
Yeah.
Good job. Yeah, I love the main character. They just introduced him as an otaku,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you're like, okay. And then it turns out like he's a lieutenant in the military, that he only does it so he can fund his weeb habit.
Yeah. It's great. The gate opens up and he's just like, oh god, I've got to stop this mess, otherwise they're gonna cancel the show.
Yeah, they're gonna cancel the anime expo. Oh no! He's so pissed off. It's amazing. Actually, calling him a weeb is inaccurate because he's Japanese.
It's true. He is otaku.
He is officially otaku. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's hilarious. And the other dude in the troop who's giving him a hard time, but then like turns out that he's an otaku as well.
Yeah.
They're both singing the closing theme song to one of their favorite. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. And the chicks in the back are just like, what the fuck are these guys doing?
What is this? I like it so far. It's fun.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. I can confirm.
Cool. So we'll talk. Oh, I don't know. Get through it maybe this week. We'll see.
On the other end of the spectrum, the show that I had been enjoying about the girl that decides to play an MMO but doesn't want to get hurt, so she just maxes out her defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was enjoying that, and then I think it's episode 7 and 8. At the very final 5 minutes of episode 7, she gets like a transformation ability, and she literally grows wings, a halo, blonde hair, and turns into an angel.
Oh.
Right.
Okay. Sure.
Which, fine, she gets another overpowered ability. That's fine. In the very next episode, she gets 2 more transformation abilities. One that turns her into a giant kaiju.
Okay.
And one that turns her into a mecha. And I'm just like, they have no idea what to do with this show. They're just throwing things at the wall.
I don't know what the logical conclusion of the storyline is. Kaiju powers, go.
Yeah, it's like, oh, she got swallowed by a demon, and, the demon's stomach acid couldn't hurt her because her defense is so stupidly high. So she eats her way out. Now she gets the ability to turn into the demon giant monster thing.
Okay, I'm kind of on board with this until she eats her way out and gets powers.
Well,
I eating, sure, gross, but okay.
No, well, it's... The first time she does it, in, the first episode, is because her weapons break. They have durability.
Yep.
This time she has a weapon that doesn't break, right? It's part of a unique set that has just a feature where it's unbreakable. So I don't know why she decided to eat the way out here when she could have used a weapon. But the skills that she gets are not because she eats. It's because she defeated the monster.
And I guess
it's a special boss. So
yeah. But I mean, eating your way out of a monster feels kind of like defeating it.
And yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean... If you're in a game and you reduce the enemy's HP to 0, you defeated it.
Yeah.
But, it's fine.
Whatever.
It's strange.
Yeah, that does sound pretty strange. I've also been watching Narcos on the Netflix, which I think I talked about.
You mentioned it.
Yeah, it's still very good. It's a little draggy in pacing.
Okay.
I mean, just because, like, I don't know. Just because, like, you know the story of Pablo Escobar? Probably.
Sure.
If you're watching this and you're into, like, the drug trade in Colombia in the 80s, you probably know what happened to this guy. So it's just taking a while to get there. It doesn't seem to be... I don't know. It's just kind of meandering a little bit. So I don't know how many episodes are left in the season. Maybe it's, like, it's almost done, and then I won't have a problem with it. But,
Okay.
yeah. I'm just getting a little impatient with it, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Well, and I do like, one of the things that I didn't know, actually, is that he actually escaped. So Colombia got an extradition treaty with the U.S. For any drug traffickers that Colombia catches, they'll turn them over to U.S. authorities immediately so U.S. can put them in prison.
Okay.
And the drug runners really hated that because Colombian prison is awesome and American prison sucks.
Right.
Yeah. So Pablo and all of his buddies escaped to, like, Venezuela or something.
Okay.
So they were escaped. There was no extradition treaty in Venezuela. There's no way they're getting picked up. But then, like, Pablo has so much love for his country that he can't leave it. So they go back.
Okay.
And bad things happen. And it's just like, I mean,
Kind of still that one coming.
yeah. I mean, I'm trying to put myself in his shoes, right? Like, okay, if I was wanted by some country and if I stayed in the U.S., there's a good chance I would end up in prison for the rest of my life. I might try to bail, sure.
You could go to Canada.
Yeah, I could go to Canada. They probably have an extradition treaty with the U.S., though.
Probably.
I don't know. Whatever. Someplace else. South Africa, maybe. Sure.
Uh-huh.
And I wouldn't want to go back. Like, I love my country. I do. But, man, I don't know if it outweighs my love for being free.
Well, I mean, that's the spirit of your country, right?
Yes. Freedom is a big deal.
Yeah. So being free is basically like being in America. As long as no matter where you are, you're in America then.
Yeah. If you're in prison in America, you're still free because you're in America. Exactly.
No, I meant if you leave America, as long as you're still free, but you're in, you know.
Oh. Yeah, I follow what you're saying now.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. However, Pablo Escobar is stupidly rich. He can afford to have a giant mercenary army protecting him at all times. He can afford to be on the move, going to different properties all the time, so he's hard to catch. Like, I kind of understand it from that level where you can kind of talk yourself into, nah, I have more money than the government does. Like, I can stay out of trouble forever until they get bored of chasing me and the extradition treaty expires, and then I'll be fine. Like, I kind of get it on that side, on that way of thinking.
Okay.
But spoiler alert, it did not work out. That is not what happened.
Yeah, turns out.
Yes. Anyway, HBO is fantastic. Always have the good content.
Yeah, they're right. I hear they're going to have, like, the Friends remake or the Friends reunion or something.
What? I didn't
Yeah,
hear about this.
There's going to be, like, a 1-hour special or something, which is the Friends reunion, only on HBO.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know this existed. You're my friend's friend, though. You're the one who knows about Friends. Somehow.
Yeah. I mean, it was very popular growing up, so.
Yes.
Too bad I can't get a HBO here.
You can't get it at all? We talked
No.
about this.
We've talked about this.
I mean, BitTorrent exists, right?
It does, yeah.
Okay. That's all.
The thing I wonder about is whether or not the TV show Joey will be canon or not.
Ooh, yeah. Because that failed, right?
Yeah, hard.
Okay. How many episodes did it get?
It got 2 seasons.
Oh, that's not failing hard. That's like you got 2 episodes in your toast. Right? I mean, 2 seasons is not bad.
Yeah, 2 very poorly received.
Okay.
Does Wikipedia have its ratings? Because I guarantee you it's not great.
I found it. What I like about this is that the first season average viewers was 10 million viewers.
Coming out right off of Friends and straight into that. Yep.
And then the second season fell to an all-time low of 4.1 million viewers, which today I think it sticks around. I think that's enough for network TV to give it another season. And back then it was an abject failure.
For Friends it was, yeah.
Which is how much TV has changed. So, okay, so the season high for season 2 was 8 million, and the season low was 4.1.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it averaged 7 million viewers an episode in season 2.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Like, I want to top TV. Let's see. Top. So, what was that on NBC probably? Because you don't know.
Yeah, probably NBC. Let me have a look.
Yeah, it was on NBC. I just found it. Makes sense because that's where Friends was. So, if we look at...
Oh, God, it was 1080i, not 1080p. That's why it failed.
Yep, that was it. Yeah. So, I mean, the best rated TV shows for 2018 for NBC, 8 million average viewers. And that is like a runaway hit for them. That is the most popular thing on their entire network. So
Right
Joey
now?
gets 7. Yeah, right now. So Joey gets 7 and gets canceled in 2006. And that's how much things have changed in 15 years.
Yeah, well, Netflix.
Yeah. All the streaming services, right? I like that perspective. I'm always amazed by what got shows canceled 20 years ago versus what we get today.
Joey and the Movie Critic is an episode from season 2.
Uh-huh.
Here's the plot summary.
Okay.
Joey's movie is getting great reviews, except one critic gave it a 0%. The critic turns out to be an 11-year-old girl. Joey starts his own production company and hires Jimmy, but things do not go well. Alex breaks up with Dean, but Joey needs to be her friend.
That's a really jam-packed episode. I assume these were 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh my
think so.
gosh. How do they fit all that stuff in there?
I have no idea.
Are these all that complicated? Let's see. Joey moves into his house, but a fire destroys it. That's fun. Jimmy learns he's Michael's father, and he and Joey try to get Michael's DNA without knowing so they can conduct a paternity test. And Michael gets new roommates. Wow. There's like 4 plot lines for each episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hope they talk about it. I hope they bring that up. They're like, yeah, it got canceled, but if it was airing in 2020, it would get like 10 seasons.
Maybe.
Maybe. Maybe not. But it'd be a lot closer to succeeding than back in 2006. Bad time for network TV now.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Yup. Let's see. Speaking of HBO, might end up watching Westworld Season 3, even though Season 2 is sort of garbage. Just depending on how they go with it. I don't know. Robots, man. I was listening to a podcast that made the point that it is hard to convince human audiences to care about the rights of robots, even if they look and act and like speak like humans and they have autonomy and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that's kind of true. like my empathy for some of these characters on Westworld only really goes so far because they're robots, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure in 100 years, things will change, and people will consider robots with sentience just as to be as human as anybody. But my generation will never accept those robots. We're going to be robo-racists.
I would like to say to the robot overlords that the views expressed by Dr. Paladin do not represent the entirety of the podcast.
Which is always true, to be fair. But especially in this case, apparently.
Especially, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, here's the thing. In the show, those are actors, they're not really robots. So you don't have to be empathetic with them. But when it comes to actual robots, you should really show them a lot more care.
I guess. Because that's the whole conceit of Westworld, is that you have these robots who look and are indistinguishable from humans in every possible way. Mm-hmm. Which opens all sorts of questions. It's very exciting.
I mean, here's the thing. Robots don't even need to look like people for people to care about them, right?
That's true. I read something about this. Go ahead.
Right, like I was just gonna say animals. People love animals, right?
Yeah.
You look at a puppy. People love puppies. Puppy's not a person.
Alive, though. Robots are not
Right.
alive.
Yeah, they are.
Nope.
Yep.
What?
Robots are things, right?
Sure, so is your friggin' pencil's a thing.
It's not what I meant, right? Like a thing with sentience is alive, right? It's the same kind of thing. You give it like the Boston Dynamics spot body, right? And people are gonna treat it like it's a dog.
Maybe. I guess we'll see. When do they start selling those? Can you buy those yet?
I believe you can through like special order through their website, so they don't have to actually disclose prices.
How has this not been leaked yet? How have people not told, like, everyone how much these cost?
Probably because no one can afford them.
Probably. They're probably like $100,000.
Wouldn't
More?
surprise me.
Let's see. Spot the robot. Here's a Wired article about it. Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to search for $sign. Ching. $sign. Somehow all 3 of the results for $sign are in this one banner ad to subscribe to Wired. How? Google's like, there are $3 on this page. Here's 1, and there's a $sign. And I click through. Here's 2, same $sign. Here's 3, same $sign. How did they do that? Anyway. So no, there's not a price in this Wired article is what I'm trying to say.
There's also no price on their website.
Yeah.
But there is a contact list, contact sales and join mailing list.
So here's an annoying thing. You have to swap out its battery if you want it to do continuous operation. Freaking Roombas can take themselves to a charging station. How are these less advanced than Roombas?
I mean, they're not less. They're just differently advanced.
That's a huge feature, though. Right? If you're doing this, like, you want this for factory work or something stupid, right? Having to swap out its battery every, 8 hours is stupid. You shouldn't have to do that.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. If you want it for continuous work, what's faster, swapping out its battery or leaving it plugged in for 8 hours?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely faster to swap a battery. But what if you're just given the option, right? Let it do a charging thing on its own, or you can swap the battery and it doesn't charge, right?
You can probably do both, right? It wouldn't surprise me if you could do both.
Maybe. This article doesn't seem like you can. It's fine. We'll figure it out one day.
Well, any day now when I get my own one in the mail.
Yeah. Then we can figure all this stuff out.
Yeah.
Very cool, though. I like Spot.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But at the same time, I don't know that I feel bad for it. Like, I don't know.
Well, it's not sentient. It's still...
Okay.
It's still just, pre-programmed stuff, and learning. It does some learning, I imagine. It has capability. You can program for it, right? It comes with a software development kit.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean it can learn just on its own, right? It can't go hunt for batteries, when it gets hungry. It's not quite a dog yet.
That would be so cool, though.
Oh my god, a robot dog that just eats batteries to power
Yeah.
up.
So it's like, nom, 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 nom. And then it poops out the expired one. Yes. Yes. One day.
Yeah, one day.
Good old Spot. Spot the robot dog. Hey, you're going to tell a story about how you don't like your boss.
Oh, he's just an idiot.
I need stories. We need proof.
Okay, what's a good way to prove it? Here's the thing. None of the way to prove it is to have you come work at my bakery for a year. Oh, yeah. And learn that there's ways in which things need to be done, right? For instance, probably the easiest one is there are 3 kinds of trays. So these are just metal trays, a meter
for cooking,
long, for baking.
Baking, yes.
So there are 3. You have regular silver trays, so they're just steel. These are typically we call them the silver ones. These are the newer ones. These ones you spray with bacon grease, and then you put dough straight onto it, and then throw it in the oven. Right?
Got it. Mm.
The second one are the same ones of those, but they're the older ones. They're the ones that are starting to get bends from where you've tapped them on the ground to shake all the carbon buildup from the ovens and stuff, or leftover seeds that come off the bread. Right? You tap them on the ground, slowly they start to bend. You can fix the bends with a pair of pliers. It's not hard. It's not very thick metal. Yeah. These are the ones we specifically set aside for our hamburgers, because hamburgers, you take 2 trays, you put one on top of the other one, and it's like a little box. It keeps them flat, keeps the hamburger bread rolls flat. So we need a lot more of those set aside specifically for those.
Okay, got it.
The third kind is paper trays. So things like cookies and stuff that you don't want straight on the tray, you put a piece of paper on, you put the cookie on, whatever, go.
Right.
Croissants, things like that. You can use the paper trays for anything else, right? But if you want to put paper onto all your trays, and you use 300 trays in doing your rolls, it's way too time consuming. It's way easier just to give it a quick spray, which is why we don't do that. This guy will just put trays anywhere. He'll put papers on whichever ones he wants.
What?
Right? And he's like, oh, we can't use those paper trays because they're dirty. And it's like, yes, but that is why we put, like, not dirty as in, like, mud, as in, like, carbon buildup from being sat in ovens for 20 years.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not like, it's nothing that's not on the bread anyway.
Right.
That's why you put paper on it. And then you replace the papers once a week.
I'm following. Yep.
It's not a problem. And he's like, no, we need to get, like, the super dirty, so I order new papers. I'm like, okay. And he goes, oh, okay, so we've got these new trays. They've been sitting here for a month. Why haven't you, like, replaced any of the trays? I'm like, when was I supposed to have the time? Because I don't have any spare time. He was like, okay, well, if you get time today, can you do it? I'm like, I won't. He's like, I know, but if you do. I'm like, okay.
Wow.
And then
okay.
And then he takes not the paper trays, which is the ones he wanted to replace, the hamburger trays, and puts them into a dishwasher, which we have told him does not work properly, that they just don't want to get rid of.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's like, well, we got to clean them. I'm like, those aren't even like the super dirty ones. And he's like, yeah, but we just got to clean them. I'm like, okay, well, he did like at least spread them out when he was done. They didn't get any cleaner because you can't just clean that. You need to scrub them. You can't just throw them in the dishwasher.
Yeah.
But this guy also took a giant bowl, which can hold like 30 liters of, like, it's usually used for like donut mixes or small cakes. But it's a big metal bowl, right?
Yeah.
Do you have a dishwasher?
Yeah, of course I do.
When you have like a bowl, which way up should you face the bowl if you don't want it to fill with water?
Down.
Yeah. Imagine your bowl was like the size of your bathtub.
Okay.
And you put it in the dishwasher straight up.
Mm-hmm. Bad.
And then you just let it run for a while. And our dishwasher is broken in the way that it doesn't stop. Like, it doesn't recognize when the run cycle is done.
Okay. All right.
We have told him this. And so it is filled with boiling hot water because it just keeps filling it. And
does it start like leaking?
Anything. No, it just overflows and then into like the runoff, right? Like any other dishwasher, right?
Okay.
So it's not going to break it. The thing just keeps running, and so eventually someone will walk over and be like, "All right, you've been wasting water for an hour, and he's buggered off. We're just going to stop it."
Wow. So I have a question. What did he do before he was your manager?
He was a manager at a different store.
Doing for the same stuff or for like a different part of the store?
Same stuff, same department, different store. But I've made friends with some of the managers I've had, and we've talked about how managing works differently from some places.
Yeah, sure.
In other stores where, let's just say, they have more staff, managers don't strictly have to do a lot of physical work. They're more like office workers.
Okay.
So they, sort out rosters, approve leave. Maybe they do the ordering. We're pretty sure that's kind of the thing he used to do.
Okay.
And now he's here, and it's the manager workplace is, no, you have to work.
Ah, problematic.
Yeah.
So do you think he's never done this before? You think he's always just sat in an office and done paperwork?
No. He used to be a baker, right? Like, he actually used to do my job.
You know that for sure?
According to his employee records.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't just get, like, hired on as somebody's son to do this.
No. Like, he's worked at the company before for 8 years, but not my store. At least, like, 3 years, I think.
You need to ask his prior coworkers if he was like this.
Here's the thing. If they've only worked in their store, they won't have a problem with it, right? Like, everyone only knows their experience. And so if they've only worked in stores where it's like, yeah, well, we've got 7 people in the department. Why do we need the manager here? Right? He's just going to get in the way. He needs to go do his whatever his work is. Look at...
Yeah. No, I'm talking about when he was a coworker. Was he constantly just not paying attention to anything and doing everything wrong?
Here's the thing. I don't think he was at the company for that part. Like, he got hired on after to do
Okay.
this.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's a problem.
Because,
like... No, sorry. Go ahead.
Just like the records I have access to list him having a job at a place called Baker's Delight, which is like another chain. It's a little smaller, but it's just bakeries. It's not like a supermarket bakery.
Hmm.
and that's where he probably learned how to bake and was doing all that stuff, and then got manager there, and then moved to Woolworths. Probably.
Because, like, this is Kevin level stuff. This is,
Kevin?
like, the subreddit. Kevin? Have I told you about the subreddit?
No.
So there was an Ask Reddit thread a few years ago where this teacher, like, one of the questions was, like, what are some crazy stories of your students from your years of teaching, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this guy told a story about a student he had named Kevin who just did the dumbest possible things. His parents were really stupid. He just seemed really dumb. Like, I'm trying to find... Yeah, here we go. So it turns out he had like 8 of these stories. And it was so popular that it turned out that they just started a whole subreddit for people to tell stories about different Kevins in their lives.
Okay.
So let me give you something here.
/Kevin.
Kevin 8, it's... I don't know what it is, actually. Probably?
It's not very popular if it is. I'll just /Kevin.
Is it stories about Kevin?
It's only like 5.8k members, which is a lot. But
that's a lot, but
not.
it is. It's stories about Kevin is the subreddit. But yeah, like Kevin ate an entire 24-pack of crayons, puked, and then did it again the next day. This was 9th grade. I still don't know where he got the crayons.
This is 9th grade.
Yeah.
That killed. That's great.
Kevin's dad would write tuition checks and mail them to me, his son's English teacher. This was at a public school. When I gave them back to Kevin, voided to give to his dad with a brief note explaining that this was a public school, Kevin got in trouble for trying to spend them at a 7-Eleven after school. I mean, he has... Here's the original... I'll send you the original Kevin post.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah. So what I'm saying is your manager sounds like a Kevin, where he just can't grasp basic concepts of how to do his job. And usually Kevins will get entry-level positions at work and just flame out. But the fact that he's in a manager position is blowing my mind.
Okay.
That's all.
Fair enough. Like, this guy also... what's the best way to put this? He had a sign... do some basic training, gave us a little pamphlet that said, depending on the hours you work, here are the agreements for how many breaks you can take, right?
Okay.
And so now I have to take my 30 minutes of unpaid break. Or it's 30 minutes to an hour, depending on whatever you agreed on. No matter how long you work, you get at least either 30 minutes or an hour.
Okay.
Or if you work, I think it's 8 hours or more, you get 15 minutes of that 8 hours is paid break. And so he's like, okay, you're on Saturdays when you used to have 10 hours, because I used to do midnight till 10:30. You just have 10 hours to get everything done without taking breaks. I now have from 3 a.m. to 11:30, but I have to take an hour break, which is only 8 hours, which is actually only 7 hours.
Yeah, I could do math.
Yeah, he does not understand that I cannot get everything done.
Yeah.
In that time, right? Like, I just physically can't.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is Kevin level stuff, man. This is like, they don't understand basic math.
This guy ordered 3 boxes of pepperoni for our pepperoni pizzas.
Uh-huh.
Each box has 4 packets. Each packet lasts about 10 days.
All right.
So 10 days, that's more than a month per box.
It's a lot of pepperoni.
It's... we have like 3 months worth of pepperoni sitting there that we can't do anything with because we only make 10 pepperoni pizzas a day.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin. I think that's the best way to explain who this person is. He just happens to be your boss, which is like the worst place for a Kevin to be. Kevin kept a bottle of orange Kool-Aid in his backpack for about 4 months. He thought it would turn into alcohol. He drank it during homeroom and threw up.
No shit, he threw up.
Kevin would say the N-word a lot. Kevin was white. The high school was 84% black. Kevin got beat up a lot.
Kevin deserved it.
He did. Kevin stole another student's iPhone and then later tried to sell it back to them.
This guy also, like, okay, so we have like a dry storage area where we store flour, containers for packaging, basically flowers of all kinds.
Yeah.
He had us take our wholemeal, our grain, and our 4 seed bags of flour, which took up maybe, I don't know, 20% of all the area there, and put those down the back where our pallets of flour, so our white flour, which is what we use the most of,
Yeah.
usually all sits down there, and we have a little trolley which we'll go and get them. He had us move them all down there, and now they're sitting in nice, neat rows next to our pallet on another spot a pallet could go. And we told him, Easter's coming, you're going to need to order a pallet of bun mix as well.
Right.
And he goes, no, I don't think I will. And I'm like, over Easter week, our production will go from 3 bags of bun mix a day, to 40 in that week. And a pallet is 80.
This doesn't seem sustainable, Omicron. I'm just saying.
I'm aware.
Okay.
This guy is also currently, at the moment, there's another store that opened up nearby where my old boss is now gone to. And until they open, we have 3 of their staff members at like 4 times a week, each doing like 5-hour shifts, right? For training, quote unquote. Not that they employed these people and then the store's opening got delayed by 4 months and they had to do something with them. No, definitely not that.
Nope. Definitely not.
Right.
Yeah.
And as soon as they go, we're probably not going to have a lot of stuff. Because he's just been like, well, you have them. What do we need to actually, like, put on our own people?
No. This story makes me sad. I don't like it.
They leave in, like, 3 weeks.
Yeah. I like how you couldn't think of any way to express how your manager's dumb, and then once it started, the floodgates were just open. That was great.
Yeah. Well, it turns out if you explain one part, it rolls very easily into the next.
Good. I'm glad we got there. These are good stories, and they make me sad, but they're good stories. Golly. So, do you feel like this is going to be a long-term situation with him, or do you see something happening?
So this is not the first time this has happened.
With a bad manager?
Yes.
Okay.
Especially with the manager who came from a more busy store where he had more staff, so he didn't have to do work. We had a guy come in and they hyped him up basically as being like a high performance manager.
Oh,
he knows how to turn bakeries around.
That's
His
not a
bakery
good sign.
did so well. He was in like the city.
Red flags. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, so many red flags.
Yeah.
This guy, he lives across the road. Like you can from the parking lot see his house. He drives to work.
It has to be slower to drive, doesn't it?
Like I don't know. Like I just kind of figured, oh, maybe he goes somewhere after work, and so it's just easier to, not walk home. I don't know. Like it's slightly closer to the road, if he drives to work. But he would drive home for lunch.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the kind of efficiency that they needed, though. Saving 10 seconds a day, a couple times a day, really adds up.
Not even that. Like this guy would, let's say, started at 7:30. He would drive to work at 7:15, and then we could see him from the window, just sit in his car and wait for 15 minutes.
I mean, you don't want to be late.
It's true.
It is smart to leave a little bit early. You never know when traffic's going to be a problem.
When there's one roundabout between your house and the driveway to work, yeah.
Yes, you never know, man.
To be fair, that roundabout does get quite busy in peak hour. He was maybe working for 3 months, and he took 6 months off stress leave because he couldn't do the work. Like he just I can't handle it. That guy, I think, is actually still worse than the guy we currently have.
Yeah, fair.
Like, this guy's nice. That guy wasn't nice. Like a nice person. This Kevin's at least, a friendly being.
Like he's a decent hang, sort of.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, that counts for a lot, in fairness. All right, cool stuff. Well,
Cool.
that's pretty much time anyway. You have time?
I mean, do you have anything else you want to talk about?
I think that was it. I had a lot of stuff, but I think I got there.
Okay. I'm debating whether or not to attach this podcast to the last one.
Like, just make it a jumbo podcast?
Yeah, because I haven't done that because I didn't know if we were going to be able to record the thing. So it's still just sitting there waiting to be added in on the jump cut.
Yeah. Figured maybe that's where we'd be.
Yeah. Otherwise, the episode would just end with a jump cut.
Yeah.
And you saying, I don't feel like doing an outro.
I kind of like it. Keep our subscribers on their toes.
Keep them split?
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with it. Well, thanks for hanging out with us this week, everyone, for another edition and issue of the Falcon Paladin Hour. Again, check out the merch store, check out the Patreon, and until next time, as always, thank you for spending your time with us this week, and you take care of yourself.